everybody, all my friends out there in YouTube land. Fantastic Phil here with another last week today. Oof, sometimes you just make it to the couch just on time. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday so far, whether it be mid-morning. Oh, there's my charging cable behind me. Whether it be mid-morning or afternoon or early morning for you. I appreciate you guys being here. Let me see who's here. Yep, my little guy saying hello. Hi, buddy. We're live right now. I think he wants a little bit of attention. Let's see who's here so far today. Paul, Psychedelic, how are you, sir? David, I have to message you about Girl Scout cookies. I keep forgetting. We'll get that done today. Wellbore, how are you? Let's see. Trev, how's it going? How's it going? Trev, I need to ask you, what is the best way to ship trading cards? Let me know. You can either put it here or DM me or do both. Zach, how are you? Okay. I got up to the chat here. Oh, here's Durs. How are you? Matt Woods, everybody, of course. Yeah, I've been playing Marvel Snap as well. You good? Matthew, you good, buddy? Are you good? I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I've been playing Snap. I try to play at least once a day, maybe even once every other day, just to get the I don't even know what's called, the purple goals done. Yeah, I don't buy a battle pass either. I don't spend money on free games. That's my rule. Bubble mailers. I'm talking about like a pretty significant stack. Like I'm gonna say maybe like 50 cards or something. Talking DMs, good idea. Nimrod is fun. The other thing is, and I know that I'm gonna say this. You know, I've been using pretty much the same deck, unless there's a goal I'm trying to hit that requires something like discards that I just don't have in my main deck. That being said, and I like my deck. I can see how it gets repetitions at times, but I don't want to ask them to change that because I know if they start nerfing cards, then they'll start losing interest. That's just how I am. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is going to be a shorter show today. It's just, I'll be honest with you. It's been a very, very long week. Slept all the YouTube pre-builds. Yeah, I can't watch it on YouTube either. It's too much for me. Yeah, I haven't done Friendly Play either. We'll hook that up, David. Yeah, it's been a very long week. Since last Friday, it has felt like every day is a Monday. And it's even some days have been so just stuff going on. It's felt like 2 Mondays in one single day. Yeah, I kind of don't know what to say on that end. I mean, I suspect, well, I could tell you, I know that at least on one front, things are getting significantly better, a little bit more hardworking, but definitely better. On my work end, I know I've reached out to a couple people, especially those who just started like member channels and links and stuff like that. That you know, we've had some stuff going on at work and have not been able to commit to any additional expense whatsoever at the moment. Hopefully, we will be learning more about that stuff this Monday finally. But yeah, that's been at the forefront of my brain at least the last month or so. It's kind of funny how corporate works. But I suppose we probably shouldn't get too much into that. Not now, at least. I don't have any new pickups. I do have just a few books I read this week, so I'll be showing those to you shortly. I just want to say, too, I know Brian's chatty started with a little bit of a health talk and people saying there's different stuff. I just want to say, hey, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that conversation. I think that's huge, especially as a father myself who didn't start having kids until his 40s. You know, it's always something I'm concerned about. I actually this week got this cheapo kind of pedometer, not a not an iWatch or whatnot. I just can't see spending $150 on something I'm not using all the functions for, and I don't want to pay another thing on our wireless bill. Hey, Gene, how are you? Congratulations on your win. Um, I missed the whole context of that, so I'm just going to say, okay. um, yeah, so I just thought that was an encouraging talk to see. I appreciate everybody working on their stuff, even outside of our little comics and stuff. Yeah, that's the gist of it, you know. But at the end of the day, it's something something I have to do because look, I want to be here a lot longer. My son eats all his greens and water, but I send it like a 12-year-old with my food palette, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, look, I think when you're doing meals and cooking and planning for more than one person, I think that's when, you know, it could get a little awry. Um, you know, I'm not the only one I'm cooking for. You know, I want to make something my wife would like to eat too. Uh, my son's just starting solids, but you know, we want to get him on board with.
He's been eating solids longer.
Not like solids, like he's really just getting started.
I wouldn't say just getting started, but
He is. Oh, hold on, David. I didn't want to mention this in around focus stay on Rest and Jacob, but I did echocardiogram a few weeks ago and just got the results on Monday. All is good, thankfully. Well, I'm happy all is good. The butt kind of is not stuff, but it's not leaves me some concern. But I'm happy that that's all good. I've actually been meaning to go to a cardiologist to get checked out. There was a genuine scare. It wasn't. Long story short, get your ticker checked. Yeah, precisely. But David, I do hope everything remains well, and I hope that I hope certainly that that's the worst of it is what you just had there, and that everything else is smooth sailing. Yeah, I mean, shortly, actually, just before was it right before or was it early on when my wife and I started dating? Um, I used to be involved in a network marketing business, which I'm not dunking on. Some people do very well with, some people don't. But you meet a lot of interesting characters, and somebody got me hooked on the book, The 4 Hour Work Week. In summary, if you haven't read that book, because it's about as thick as a phone book, it's very much about kind of streamlining things in your life that you can. And my kind of underlining issue with it was, okay, you could streamline these things, but I feel like in the long run, you're missing out on things. One of the chapters I followed, and I had a lot of success health-wise with it. I'll be honest with you, when my wife and I met, I was much healthier, and that's just kind of fallen by the wayside. Um, but yeah, I was on. If you're familiar with that book, he was preaching what really was intermittent fasting before it became popular, where you were eating the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week, and then one day was a cheat day. And I'll say this, it works, but you get sick of other foods real quick. Real quick. So I gave up on that. My little guy's just playing with his lungs and his voice. You good, pal? He's not even looking up. Okay. But yeah, I hope everybody, remains healthy, of course, here too. Um, the only thing I feel I'm qualified to say health wise is just do what's good for you. There's a lot of people, especially on YouTube, and I'm sure that we've all seen this before, that say, this is how I do it and this is how you should do it. Well, first of all, I think that you could boil fitness and eating healthy down to just basically simple things. I don't think you need to buy special foods or whatnot. But that's just my opinion. Do you, and of course, talk to a doctor. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Let's see what's going on with the chat here. Anxiety attacks. Yep, in there. Yeah, no, he will not be saying chat as a first word. He does say mama and dada. Dada more than mama. She didn't see that. He's been saying yeah, but like no context. You just be looking at him. Yeah. All right, dude. You just want to hang out. That's cool. Brian, how are you? Long time no see. Let me take my sweatshirt off. I'm getting hot. So I will show you what I read this week. It's not much, but I'll say this. I was surprised by a couple things. Yeah, I mean, go to a good doctor. When we say that. When I say go to a doctor, I'm trying to say it like, look, just because trying to think of a great way to say it. Just because somebody has like a YouTube channel with a lot of subscribers does not mean that they're the official word on anything. I think that you have to take in what information you have, and it's just like listening to Comic FOMO. You got to take in the information that you have and then do what makes the most sense. One of the non-comic book channels that we watch regularly, Flav City, get a lot of good information from. Bobby is great, very knowledgeable. That being said, I don't have the paycheck to go to Whole Foods as much as he does and buy exactly what he does. You have to have stuff fit. You good? Yeah, and on a side note too, and I'm not besmirching him, of course, in any way. Sometimes these things, they just don't know. Erythritol, that came out last week. And we had eaten a lot of stuff with that erythritol and monk fruit in it. That too much of that can actually increase your risk of stroke and heart issues. So it's like all right, they don't know. Bobby's products in particular, I haven't bought any of them. I find them to be way too expensive. That's just how it is. Good second opinion. Yeah, second opinions are always good. My whole scare started with a nurse at urgent care, mistake one, urgent care, taking she said the heart was super enlarged. Yeah. I don't trust urgent care. So I used to go all the time as a kid, and I found that unless you walk into one where the doctor and they're there quite often, it's not worth it. I feel like you're getting either somebody just passing by or just not the best care. And look, if the one by you is just your doctor, maybe that's the only doctor in the area, maybe you know them or something, that's fine. I'm just talking about, like, I'm not gonna, if I have anything worse than the flu, let's say, I'm not going to walk into, the urgent care here at CVS and say, hey, doctor, I need your advice. That's just me. But that's a whole nother subject. I mean, really, to be honest with you, I think the biggest problem in our country with health and whatnot is the fact that we allow so many things that aren't good for you in the food. Do you realize that there are third world countries who bar certain chemicals and whatnot in food that we're perfectly fine with? And why is that? I don't know. I'm not going to go too much further into that because that's going to take us down a whole different path that we're not going to go. So, what did I read this week? First thing I read, this actually came to me from Reggie. This was part of a free giveaway. I was unfamiliar with this. Fred Funes, Uncanny. Artwork looked interesting. The cover art, I should say, looked interesting. Guy kind of looked like reminded me of like a mix between, if you know, the Guyver and a Luchador. A little bit kind of a Spawn vibe, I think, just with some of the ornateness of his uniform, of his costume. I hate to do this because it is a independent title, but this one just wasn't for me. Bearing in mind, I went into this on issue number 4. There's already 3 issues of story through this. I know that there's other issues out there as well. Just didn't like it. Didn't click for me. It kind of felt to me like it would have been something. It was something out of like an early 90s Image comic. Like I looked at this and I was thinking, okay, here's Shadowhawk. Here's, okay, why don't I say that? Why don't I say it like this? When I say 90s Image, he's not on that Liefeld level. At least he's on a Valentino level, but still, I didn't enjoy this, and this is going to be going into my giveaway pile, which I promise you will hear about this week if you pay attention. And yes, that's a nice little tease. Next up, only read 2 other books this week. Like I said, not a great week, not at all. I was putting off reading this book for good reason. I still have 2 more issues of this book in my collection to read, but I am not necessarily running to do so. Look, here's the thing. I still have a little bit of a backlog to catch up on before I show you the stuff. David, I'm sorry. I just saw that. That was very funny. It does. It really does. Catching the bus to hell. Todd's going to put that into a story soon. So anyway, yeah, I'm still trying to work through some of the backlog before I get into the stuff that I picked up 2 weeks ago at this point that I shut off here. And this has been kind of one of the major hurdles because it is a story that I have not been enjoying, but it is a character I really, really like, and the artwork I really, really like, the cover art at the very least. So I read Catwoman number 46. Like I said, I'm behind. Very cool cover. It's Tini Howard. No, it wasn't a great story, but I'll say this. Interior art, who I should look up who the artist is. It'd be great if I had that starting this. Interior art is fantastic. Really, absolutely wonderful. Not enough to keep me coming back, but it's really great. Yeah, I love this cover too. This was just the cover B. You know, it's nothing special. Here, hold on. Pencils, Sammy Basri, Basri. Story, meh. I mean, for Tini Howard, it's great, but it was just okay. I do like how she is confronting. Hey, Jay. She's confronting a lot of the things that happen in Tom King's run on Batman. I'll say this, and I've brought this up before. I enjoyed Tom King's Batman. I know that it was very not well received, but I enjoyed it, and that was at the beginning of my kind of jumping off point. 3 Good Nerds, how are you? I love that channel, by the way. I love a lot of channels, really everybody here. But if you haven't been watching 3 Good Nerds, you should. That's kind of what I aspire when my little guy is a little bit bigger. I do also like in this issue where they're kind of going through the Batman-Catwoman relationship through the ages, but it's not the main focus of the story. There is a somewhat contrived story about some sort of international crime ring. I don't even really know, to be honest with you, because it is not the best way done. And actually, you know what? I also read issue number 45, but I didn't bring it upstairs. Okay, so I read a little bit more than I anticipated. Let's see. I don't know what that is, but all I can tell you is somebody in the Northeast, I can't get pizza outside of the Northeast. That's just how it is, because every single time, unless you're in Italy, but every single time, been very disappointing. But I have to catch up apparently on the pizza challenge. I might have missed something. It sounds like. Um, Teeny Howard's good at these very kind of small moments where you have maybe one or two characters just talking together. This I thought was nicely done. The Catwoman and this other character, whose name escapes me. I think when she tries to pull off something too big is when she tends to lose me here. I also think that they're kind of taking extra steps to, in their minds, pay homage to something. For example, like the restaurant that the mobs meet at in this one is Capullo's, from Greg Capullo. As much as I was like, oh, that's kind of nice, when you keep reintroducing it or making it a point to bring it up, I kind of feel like you're losing me, like you're kind of separating me from that whole story. Just a little distracting. Uh, Issue 47, again, another good cover. This one, actually, honey, listen when you say this. When I say this, I don't want you to be too shocked. This was actually a good Teeny Howard story. She made a good story. Who would have known? So, yeah, maybe there's some good things for her coming at some point. I can't say that I'm sticking with the series. I'm probably just going to switch to digital when I read what I read. Zach, people from Chicago, I'm convinced that that's not actual pizza. That's like a lasagna with a crust. Try all the pizza joints around town. See, I feel like if you came up here, it would just ruin you for all the pizza down there. I mean, I can tell you that there are a number of pizza places in our area that will actually, you're going to pay for it. Don't get me wrong, but they'll actually send you their pizza fresh in dry ice or something like that. I forgot what the name of the service that does it is. But yeah, I've actually, Zach, I ran into an issue because I gave up pizza for Lent because I clearly just wasn't thinking. So there's no pizza until Easter. Not for me, at least. Which, truth be told, if we go to like my in-laws and they're like, "Hey, we just wanted to make pizza for Easter," I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't like ham. That's just how it is. But I digress. Let's see how well that goes over. Hey, honey.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, because I gave up pizza for Lent, do you think your mom would be cool with, we go there for Easter instead of making all the traditional dishes if we just got a bunch of pizza?
No.
No? You sure?
I mean, you can try. She won't, I guess, reject it.
Okay, we'll try. Yeah, Zach, I hear you. And Costco actually has my favorite cauliflower crust pizza on sale. So, yeah, hoping to at least get some of those for the freezer. Easter pizzas, why not? Well, here, we have a dish. I can't remember what it's called, but it sounds like pizza. My mom makes it. It's, yeah, Italian Easter. It's Easter bread, and she makes two different kinds. You can make I shouldn't say she makes two different kinds because she's kind of slowed down on it over the years, but she typically have a sweet, and then you have another one that is just very sharp cheese, meat, mixed into like a pizza dough. It's a pie basically, but it's basically it's called, if you want to look it up, it's called Pizza Game. It's not spelled like that. Just type Pizza Game. You'll see what I mean. And I've noticed a lot of delis in our area actually trying to sell it around this time of year too. They start around like for $30. The pizza place from my hometown will deliver pizza across the country. Okay. My family goes all out. No, Gene. Gene, I don't know what you had, but look, pizza in my book does not include chocolate, unless it's a dessert pizza. I've seen people make dessert. So there's some places that make a dessert pizza with Nutella and fruit. But no. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna be honest. If you put pineapples on your pizza, you're just not eating pizza. I don't know what you're eating, but that's an abomination. No pineapples on here. Catwoman 47, yes. Tini Howard, best writing of hers I've read. Best thing of hers, when I say I've read since her Gomorrah series. And again, it's a lot of these very kind of small, kind of intimate moments that work the best in here. There is this international kind of crime, hey, dope, crime story going on. And what I come to realize is that, and I think this is where Tini Howard is finally doing something interesting with her with Catwoman now. I realize that we're not reading the traditional Catwoman story. She's actually just made like a James Bond type of story, but instead of being a super spy, she's upsetting this international crime ring and also stealing because hey, it's Catwoman. Um, she is kind of palling around with this guy, although you should see that she's still kind of entangled, why don't we say, with Batman. So that's kind of interesting as well. But yeah, Tini Howard, if you're watching, which you're not, number 47, which at this point came out, I think, in September, you finally have written a good Catwoman book. Congratulations. Well, that's all I read. Why don't you tell me about what you guys are reading? Movie Bus Missing is a great movie. I don't know that one. I have to say, with Dope here, as I was saying, I had a really rough week, so I only got to watch maybe a little bit of YouTube. I made sure I watched some Dope, and I laughed my ass off. Dope always is very entertaining, and I appreciate his channel very much. Manny's here too. I just lost him. Here he is. Yes, the Hobgoblin. Great channel for really a lot of different Spider-Man things. Manny, I have actually a video coming out probably this week that I filmed in my car with my son. That's right. We did a little bit of parking lot videos this week about a Spider-Man character. I'm interested in your feedback, especially. So I got 2 trades of Hotel. It's Hotel. Oh yeah, I think I like that. That I'm going to actually review for Cole's giveaway. I have to look at Cole's giveaway because I don't know what that one is. The one told over text messaging. You mean the video I watched of his? No, it was he was showing off some pre-code horror that like people disregard because it tends to look eaten up and whatnot. But I have to look back for that one. I didn't see that. New Predator started this week. I don't know if I've ever read a Predator comic. Hallows Eve. I'm so out of Spider-Man, I don't know what it is. No, but Agent Venom is my favorite Venom. I know we talked about that. Maybe. Hey, Mike. Mr. Boar here. The Last Barbarians was good. Good. I did read, I meant to shoot this week Family Tree recently. I think that's been probably the best thing I've read in a while. Oh, you know what? I think we did see that. I don't think it was over text though. That my wife and I saw one where everything was done like through like computer cameras, like they were trying to imitate a certain style, but it sounds very similar. I don't know. It was like the Asian guy from Harold and Kumar was in it. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same one. Hey, Nick, how are you? So that's just everything I've kind of done this week. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I wanted to bring up? I did read that um, Zeb Wells' run on not Zeb Wells, Chip Zdarsky's run on. Oh, good. Yeah, I remember seeing that one. That was good. I remember it was interesting enough to watch. I don't know that I would rewatch it, to be honest with you. This week, to be honest with you, the little bit of TV I watched has been all History of the World Part 2, which I really enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, there were some really bad parts, but the parts that were good were great. Curb Your Own Judaism, I thought was hilarious. The little bit of revisits they go to with Jews in Space and Hitler on Ice, I thought was funny. Um, I enjoyed the Civil War things. I think the only thing that really kind of fell flat for me was the Shirley Chisholm bit. I think that they could have done like maybe one episode less for her, but I enjoyed that. Um, not so it wasn't Zeb Wells. Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil is ending. I have to say I jumped off Daredevil right before his run. It was just because I felt like nobody was able to recapture the magic, if you will, of the Bendis and Brubaker era. Um, and I was kind of surprised because like I love Charles Soule's writing. I hated his Daredevil, and that was kind of like my I'll come back to this one day type of thing. But I'll say this: I enjoyed some of the stuff I have read digitally uh, from Wells here. Oh no, Gene, they made like it's an 8-part TV series that premiered on Hulu this week. History of the World Part 2. Um, they released 2 episodes a night. They're I think about a half hour long each. Um, I'll say this again: the stuff that's good is good. The stuff that's bad is bad. Um, yeah. Yes. I mean, like, if you don't have Hulu, I can tell you, my brother-in-law often waits for them to get like a free trial to come up, subscribes, watches it for a week, and then unsubscribes. So, yeah, if you want to get around it, there you go. I mean, I can tell you, Hulu is the streaming service we have that we watch the least. It is also one of the few ones that we pay for because, honestly, I got it because I wanted to watch What We Do in Shadows. History of the World just kind of threw it up here. Awesome. Hey, no matter how you got here, bottom tier, happy to have you here. I'm just, it's not the best episode today, I'll tell you that much. But that's just me. All old comics read like essays. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I think we could all appreciate that at the same time. Yeah, so I'm probably going to go back at some point and read some of Wells' stuff online for Daredevil. I'm just kind of curious because usually when they have one team end on one book in the last couple of years, they've had other other teams go at the same time and they switch around. Some of the stuff is kind of exciting. Like I think everybody was excited, when Donny Cates moved to Thor. Was it Thor? I forgot. All I know is I don't read what he's been doing, and I know not a lot of people have been enjoying it. But hey, no, our Hulk he's writing. That's it. I do read more light books. Yeah, that's true. Oh, here, hold on. Yeah, Gene, that's great. What We Do in Shadows, I like a lot. If you like History of the World, you might like that. And the new Predator movie that came out a couple months ago is really good on that. I think that's still on Hulu. Yeah, I skipped the new Punisher run because I figure, when it's done, I'll just read it digitally. And it's gone on longer than I anticipated it being. See, I read like one Aliens book, and I felt like they kind of pulled it I kind of felt like it was just there. It was the annual, and I'll be honest with you, it was a cover buy for me, but I like Aliens. Just that story just didn't appeal to me. Maybe I'll go back and take a look at some of the older stuff, some of the other stuff online, I should say, rather. I hear mixed opinions on Kate. Seems like a market hype gimmick writer. Yeah, I don't have a huge amount of experience with Kate's either. The only book I'm aware of books I'm aware of that he has was his run on Thanos, excuse me, Thanos. Sounds like a company. And I only had those because I was reading it when Lemire was writing it, and then Kate's replaced Lemire. And that was a solid book, to be honest, even before Kate's jumped on. But I'll say this: I do like a lot of. I do like a lot of what Kate's introduced onto that run. Although I think, yeah, I do the same thing. Although I think that I think that some concepts he had were just great for kind of flash in the pan stories. I don't see them as greater ongoing stories. Cosmic Ghost Rider, for example, great idea, great concept. He was very interesting. Then, if you've read any of his series immediately following that, it was just like, I remember reading a book and stopping there like, this is the most boring thing I've read in a long time. Brian, catch you later if you haven't gone yet. And I know that people are hyped up because Cosmic Ghost Rider is starting again, or he's going to be in Percy's run. Percy's a good writer, so maybe Percy could pull something out, but I'm not optimistic myself. Yeah, I'm probably just going to read that digitally, to be honest with you, if anything. I'll be honest with you, David. I was one of the few people who enjoyed. What was it? One More Day? Was that the storyline? I think it had. I think the After Effects went on much longer than anybody anticipated. Though I loved Dan Slott's run. Towards the end, not so much, but I've talked about that before. Yeah, Lemire is one of my favorite writers. I'll be honest with you. I think that 9 times out of 10, he doesn't know how to finish a story. But I really started getting into him more with the New 52, and that's where I actually got kind of Charles Soule came on my radar as well, because I think Lemire was writing Animal Man, and Soule was writing Swamp Thing, or it was the other way around. You remember that book, buddy? You can't read yet. And if you need something to read from that era, that's the thing to do. Animal Man and Swamp Thing, they work very well together. Let's see. Yeah, it's a good read. Reminds me of the first Aliens. I don't know which friend we're talking about. I kind of fell behind. Oh, I don't remember Banshee and Immortal X-Men. I'm behind on that now too. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I feel like a lot of his stuff he just doesn't know what to do with. Well, that is all I have today. Like as I said, it was going to be a bit of a shorter story. Shorter episode. I do encourage you to definitely check out my channel this week. Couple different reasons. First, as I said to Manny, I'm going to be having one of my backseat videos, which I have not done in a while, very soon, about whom I think is a great Spider-Man character that is underutilized. Can I go now, buddy? I'm going to talk about an underutilized, undervalued Spider-Man character who I think they could even pull a movie out of, to be perfectly square with you. We are going to do, which maybe we'll shoot right now. Last week, I won Breakfast with Brian's weekly giveaway. I received it very quickly. Thank you, Brian, even though you're running errands right now. Received it very quickly. Have not opened it yet because my wife is going to do the unboxing. And on that same video, you're going to hear two different things. One, I think her and I are going to discuss one, I think her and I are going to discuss some of the feedback from our last installment of Love and Comics, which if you haven't read yet, excuse me, haven't watched yet, go ahead and do that and give me some feedback because this is going to be part of our ongoing discussion as far as storage goes. I think there's been a lot of good feedback on there so far. And we're also on that same video, I'm going to finally announce what was originally going to be my 200 subscriber giveaway. And then it was going to be originally my 2-year giveaway. So I'm just going to extend it a bit, but you're going to have to watch that particular episode when that drops later this week to figure everything out. So with that, I have to go. I thank you guys for giving me a little bit of your day. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of your day. Be well, everybody, and pursuant to the beginning of our discussion, stay healthy. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.